Welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial is going to be on how to make wristlet keychains. There are several different options that you can use, as well as certain clasp and embellishments. So I just want to kind of give you some ideas. You can make them as wide or as narrow as you would like. You can also use different kinds of clips. So here I just have some metal D-rings. You can get these in various sizes as well. And then I just have some of these that are clips that you just can clamp down over the end, and some of these already come with the keychains attached. And then any kind of charm or tassel, any kind of embellishment that you want. I also have a jump ring just so that I can attach the jump ring to the actual keychain part without it being so tight, and that will just let it freely move around the keychain if you do want that little embellishment added. So go find some scraps and let's come back and get started on this tutorial. Now I am actually using some 2.5 inch jelly roll strips that I have left over from a quilt that I just finished, and that is going to just make it easy to also use up some of my scraps and make something cute that's still going to be something I can use. So that is going to be how I start. The first thing you want to do is decide on the size. Now for the one I'm going to show you today, I'm going to go ahead and use one of these, which is a width of 1 inch. So whatever width this is the width that you will have plus 1/2 inch, because what we're going to do is sew it right sides together with a 1/4 inch seam on each side. So we need the finished size to be 1 inch. So we need to add that 1/2 inch to take into account our seam allowance. Now, if you were going to do one of these that has the D-ring, notice this is 1.5 inches. So you would want your fabric to be 1 3/4 inches so that you add that additional, actually you would need to add an additional 1/2 inch. So you could even do 2 inches to ensure that your 1/4 inch seam is taken into account for this one. So just pay attention to whatever clasp you choose to put on the end and what size it is, and just always add that 1/2 inch so that you get that 1/4 inch seam taken into account on both sides of that. Now I have cut my strips to be 12.5 inches long because I want a little bit bigger wristlet. So you can decide if you want it to be a shorter or longer one. So in these examples, you can see that this is a shorter one. Maybe this one is good for the size of a child. If you're going to put it on your wrist, this one is more of the adult size, or a petite person. So you can decide on length based on that. So the one I'm doing is going to be the 12.5 inch, which is the bigger one that I would like to use. Now I'm going to be using this 1 inch clamp. So I need to cut this down, and I'm going to trim this 2.5 inch strip down to 1.5 inches for both of these. If you want a thicker keychain, you can add leftover scraps of batting or bosal, and that will give it a thicker feel on your wrist. And you just want to cut that the same width as your fabric. So if we're doing 1.5 inches across, then you would want this to also be cut 1.5 inches across. And you would just sew it in between the layers as you do your right sides together. I typically stack these together and just line up the ruler so that it's covering 1.5 inches, and align that side. And I am just going to go ahead, once I have it completely lined up with both pieces, and just cut off the little excess on the side. And then I have another little scrap I can use for something later. So once I have these two strips cut, we're going to take these to the sewing machine, and we are going to sew them right sides together, 1/4 inch away on both sides, and then we will come back and flip it right side out. Only sew the sides. If you want to use a guide, this is a great way to make sure you keep your stitch straight. You'll want to start and you will want to back stitch. the first couple of stitches, and then you will just sew all the way down that strip with that 1/4 inch seam. I've already sewn the left side, so now I'm just getting the other side, and leave both ends open. When you get to the end of your strip, you will just back stitch again. So now we have right side sewn together, a stitch on both sides, and we have both ends open. So now what I'm going to do is use a fabric tube and actually flip this. So the way this works is you slip this into the center of your fabric. You poke it on the end a little bit to get it started very gently. And as you pull this way, it will automatically flip it for you. And then you can just pull off the tube and remove the little stick, and you will have it right side out. So it's a nifty little tool. I'll link it for you in the description. Now we want to take this to the iron, and we want to press these seams down really well. So if you decide that you do want to add the batting, or you want to add bosal in there, then all you're going to see is that it is going to be on the back side of one of them. When you get ready to flip it right sides out, notice three parts open. Just make sure you're flipping it with the 2 fabric sides with your tube. So you'll slip the tube into the piece that has both pieces of fabric. It'll just be a little bit harder to turn it because it's thick, but the process works the same. So just be careful not to poke a hole, and it should work just the same for you guys to flip that out. And then again, you're going to want to still iron it even with that piece of bosal or batting in there, and get that flat just like we did the other piece. So this is the difference in how it looks with and without the bosal. This one, of course, has its decorative top stitch already down, but it just gives it a little thickness compared to this one, which will just be really thin. So that's just an option. If you want it to have a more professional and finished look, you can add that in between. So those are just options for whichever type of project you prefer. Now, if you are going to just use a regular ring, or you're going to use a D-ring, then you are going to sew it differently than you do if you are going to use one of these that is going to be pressed. So the first thing you would do is slide the ring onto the part we've already sewn. Whatever side you want to be the outside needs to be folded with that outside with your right sides together, because we want to go ahead and get a little 1/4 inch seam right here and get that into place. And I usually do a couple of stitches across to ensure that I have it the way I want it to be. So once you have that right sides together stitched and you have the ring on it the way that we've done, now you want to flip it right sides out, and you want to slide the ring into that section where you've already had that first stitch. And that is going to be how you position your raw edges to be hidden, and how you're going to also hold this in place. You're going to take this to your sewing machine and sew as close as you can sew, close enough to this ring without messing it up or getting your needle broken, and stitch it 2 or 3 stitches across until it is completely sewn in place. So you'll just want your stitch as close as you can get there, and you'll go back 2 or 3 times. If you can stay on the same stitch, that's fine, or you can equally space 2 or 3 stitches and make it look uniform. But either way, you just want to sew it as close as you can get it to the ring without it hitting your needle. Now, if you are going to sew and leave your raw edges because you want to use the clasp, the first thing I like to do is to add a little bit of E6000, because that just makes me feel better about the clasp staying in place if this is going to be gifted or something that I would sell to a customer. So I put just enough on the side that is solid, not the side with the little holes where it can leak through. So just put it on the back side there, and then go ahead and position your keychain into the center part and kind of hold it as far back as it'll go, and go ahead with your hands and just kind of press it down a little bit so that it's a little bit in place. Then you can use your pressing tool, or if you have the hand tool, you can just go ahead and press it closed. I actually have one that is a press that I can do just by pushing down on the handle. So I just line it up in between the brackets, and I just give it a good press into place as far as it'll go. And then I have my keychain. If you have some little threads that are left kind of sticking out the sides, you can easily trim those with some embroidery scissors, or you can take a little lighter and just burn and singe those little edges. And you have a really cute little keychain that you've made, and it's got a nice top finish. This one is a thick one, and this is a thin one, so you can kind of see the difference here and how those look. And you've got multiple options for how to finish those off. The last thing you can do is add that little embellishment that we talked about. So you can just take that jump ring and put it around the keychain part that you want that to be on. You will just drop that little tassel on, and then you're just going to use some needle nose pliers to hold one side and another pair to close that into place. So I have one that just helps me kind of hold that into place. I'm going to drop this little tassel on, and then with my second one, I'm only going to, at the same time, pull these together. And that way I know it's closed instead of doing one side. So that's just a little tip for closing these out. And so now you have a little tassel added to the end, and you have a cute little finished keychain. So this is fun to use up little scraps that you have. It's a great project for last minute gifts or to add to a little gift basket. So if you have a last little Valentine gift that you need to give out tonight, you can make these in a matter of about 10 or 15 minutes, and you have something cute to add. I hope that you've enjoyed my tutorial today. Please like, subscribe, share, and let me know in the comments other things that you would like to see. Happy Valentine's Day.